Have you ever noticed how some women can make a guy completely lose his train of thought just by walking into a room? That flutter in his chest, that moment when his words stumble, you know you've given him butterflies. And here's the truth, it's not about being the most beautiful woman in the room, it's about knowing exactly how to create that electric connection that makes his heart race without being obvious or playing games. Here, I'm sharing the subtle art of giving a guy butterflies, those innocent yet powerful moves that create instant attraction. And the best part? You'll be doing it by simply being your authentic self. What are butterflies and why they matter? Let's talk about what these butterflies actually are. That fluttery feeling isn't just in your head, it's a real physiological response. When we experience attraction, our bodies release stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, creating that nervous excitement we call butterflies. What's fascinating is these sensations are similar to our fight-or-flight response. That's why your heart beats faster, your palms get sweaty, and you feel those flutters in your stomach. The power of eye contact. Eye contact is the simplest yet most electric way to create instant attraction. When you look into someone's eyes, you're not just seeing them, you're connecting on a primal level. Here's how to use eye contact to create butterflies. When talking to him, hold his gaze for just 1 or 2 seconds longer than normal before looking away. Then add a slight smile as you break contact. That extra beat creates a moment of tension, the good kind that makes his heart race. Try this today. Practice the triangle technique. Look at one of his eyes, then the other, then briefly at his lips, and back to his eyes. It's subtle, but incredibly powerful. But wait, eye contact is just the beginning. Let me show you how to take this to the next level. Strategic touching techniques. Touch is one of the most powerful ways to create instant attraction. I'm not talking about anything inappropriate, just those innocent, brief moments of contact that leave him thinking about you long after. Research shows touch triggers the release of oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. Even a brief, appropriate touch can create a powerful connection. The next time you're laughing at something, he said, lightly touch his arm for just a moment and notice how the energy shifts instantly. Now, combining touch with the next technique makes it absolutely magnetic. Voice modulation and conversation skills. Did you know your voice actually changes when you're attracted to someone? Research has found that men tend to speak in a lower pitch when talking to someone they're attracted to, while women often speak in a slightly more melodic tone. You can use this knowledge intentionally. When speaking to him, vary your tone slightly, a little higher when excited, a little lower and softer when sharing something personal. This natural modulation shows authentic emotion, but what you say matters just as much as how you say it. The secret weapon? Using his name in conversation. There's something incredibly personal about hearing someone say your name that creates immediate intimacy and makes him feel seen. Open-ended questions also create deeper conversations than yes/no questions. Instead of, "Did you have a good weekend?" try, "What was the highlight of your weekend?" This invites him to share more. Creating butterflies isn't just about what you say, it's also about how you present yourself. Body language and mirroring. Your body speaks volumes before you say a word. Confident, open body language is instantly attractive. Stand tall with your shoulders back. Research shows it not only makes you look more confident, but actually makes you feel more confident too. One of the most powerful body language techniques is mirroring. Mirroring is when you subtly match the other person's body position, gestures, or energy level. It creates an unconscious sense of harmony and connection. If he leans forward while talking, you might do the same. If he speaks quietly, you match his tone. It's not about copying, it's about creating harmony. This technique works because it operates on a subconscious level, making him feel understood without knowing why. The next time you're in conversation, notice his energy level and subtly match it. If he's enthusiastic about a topic, mirror that enthusiasm. If he's sharing something more serious, match that tone. I've used this technique countless times, and it creates an immediate sense of clicking with someone. But body language is just one piece of the puzzle. Another powerful way to create attraction is through thoughtful compliments. The art of meaningful compliments. Here's something most women don't realize. Men rarely receive compliments. This means when they do get one, it stands out and creates an immediate emotional response. But not all compliments are created equal. The most powerful compliments acknowledge something specific about him, something he's chosen or worked for, rather than just his appearance. Research shows that meaningful compliments recognize effort rather than natural gifts. I love how passionate you are when you talk about your work is more impactful than "you're so smart." Notice something specific about him that you genuinely appreciate and mention it naturally. I've noticed you always make others feel included in group conversations. That's really rare. I once told a guy this, and years later, he told me it was one of the most meaningful compliments he'd ever received. Want to know the most underrated way to give a guy butterflies? It might surprise you. The magnetic power of active listening. Want to give a guy butterflies instantly? Really listen to him. In a world where everyone is distracted, your full attention is magnetic. Active listening means being fully present. Put away your phone. Make eye contact. Respond with thoughtful questions that show you're not just waiting for your turn to speak. A powerful active listening technique is validation. This doesn't mean agreeing with everything he says, but acknowledging his perspective. When he's speaking, focus completely on understanding him rather than planning what you'll say next. Then refer back to something he said earlier in the conversation. Earlier, you mentioned, "This shows you were truly listening, and it's surprisingly rare. The first time I consciously practiced this, the guy actually paused and said, 'Wow, you really listen.' It created an immediate bond." But creating butterflies isn't just about conversation techniques. It's also about creating memorable moments. The most powerful way to give someone butterflies is to create moments that stand out from everyday life. This doesn't mean grand gestures. It's about small moments of unexpected connection. Remember something he mentioned in passing and bring it up later. If he talked about loving a particular book or movie, reference it in a future conversation. This shows you were paying attention to the details that matter to him. Ask for his help with something small that plays to his strengths. People love feeling competent and needed. It creates connection while allowing him to shine. Share something slightly vulnerable. When you open up first, it creates space for him to do the same, deepening your connection. Reference something specific from a previous conversation with him. "Hey, didn't you mention you love that band? I just heard they're coming to town." This simple recognition creates a powerful sense of being seen and remembered. Now let's talk about how all these techniques work together. Here's the thing about creating butterflies. It's not about using one technique perfectly. It's about combining several of these approaches naturally to create moments of genuine connection. Each of these small moments builds on the others, creating that flutter of attraction that stays with him long after you've gone. The most important thing to remember is that authenticity underlies everything. These aren't tricks, they're ways to enhance your natural connection and show genuine interest in another person. So let me ask you this, which of these techniques will you try first? The eye contact, the strategic touch, the active listening? Let me know in the comments. Whatever you choose, remember that giving someone butterflies isn't about changing who you are. It's about bringing your authentic self to your interactions, being present, and creating moments of genuine connection. Because ultimately, those butterflies, they're the beginning of something potentially beautiful, and that's definitely worth creating, one authentic moment at a time. Make sure to subscribe for another video.